Hey everyone, welcome back to another Divhunt's video. Today I'm going to help you to get used to working in Divhunt Builder if you're new here or you're coming from some different platforms. So without further ado, let's start by talking about the right click. In Divhunt you can right click pretty much on anything and you will in response get some additional settings connected to the target you've clicked. You can even go hit the right click here in the styles and you will get the options to set the style to be important or to reset it. Now, when we cover this, let's talk about this navbar here that is placed at the top of my screen. Here I can get the access to all of the applications I have installed at this project. In my case, I have these collections and these creator applications. Here I have this files button. If I open it, I can see the list of all the files that I've created specifically at this project. And here I have this styles button, which will open all of the classes that I have on this project, and as well I have this panel here which will show me all of the colors I have saved on this project. Now we have here this bar for some of the most commonly used tags for the developers, and you can quickly add them to your project by simply left clicking on them. As you can see, my div is already added here, and if I go hit the right click on it, I can remove it from here. Of course, if you're a more skilled developer and you need some more tags, you can hit Ctrl E on your keyboard and this search bar will appear. Now I can type something like aside here and now I can use this aside tag. Now let's go and remove some of these letters here, and as you can see I will get the list of other tags. I can use something like caption, aside, address, or anything from this list, and all of these additional tags are pretty good if you want to boost the SEO of your project. Now let me show you one cool trick by using this bar and the right click. For example, if I want to convert this div here into something different, like for example link block, I can simply select this div by left clicking it, and here I can go and hit the right click. And now, as you can see, my div has converted into a link block. And now I can go back, hit the right click on a div, and again, it will be transformed back into a div. Now, when we cover this up, let's talk about this elements option here. If I open it, you can see some of the predefined blocks of tags here. For example, you have simple form, newsletter, hamburger, and many more. If I switch here to the elements, I'll have the list of predefined sections, buttons, cards, and some other structures from which I can choose from. Here into the wireframes, I have ready to use wireframes. And how can you add something from those lists? Well, simply you need to choose what you like, click on it, and drag it into your project. Now I have this wireframe here ready for me to use it. Because this is only for a demonstration, let's hit the right click here and remove it. The next thing we are going to talk about is this right side of this navbar here. You have some additional options here like undo button, redo button. You have this drop down for responsive. Here you can choose from the list of breakpoints, or you can also create some new breakpoints if you need some specific viewport width. For example, I can type in here 1440 pixels, hit confirm, and the new breakpoint will be created. I don't need this now, so I'll hit the cancel button. Now, how the responsive works? Well, simply you just select the breakpoint, and now everything I edit here will be applied to this viewport and to all the viewports below this one. Everything above this one won't be affected at all. Now let's go back to the original size here and let's talk about the preview mode. Here, clicking on this button, you can enter the preview mode. You can go here and click to set everything in full screen to remove sidebars and the top bar. So let's get out of here. And here you have this reload button. I like to use this option when I'm making some animations and I want to test them out, like these animations I have on heading. As you can see, it will trigger my animations from the beginning. Here you have the drop down of all of your pages here, so you can quickly switch between pages in the preview mode. And here on the sides you have these bars which I can click and drag them to manually resize the viewport, so I can see how my project is working on some smaller devices. Or you can go here and type in something manually like 1440 pixels and the viewport will automatically be resized. Now here you have drop down of some predefined viewport widths. For example, you have this iPhone 11, which will set this value here, or you can choose something different. Now, to get out of the preview mode, you come here again and hit this icon and you will get out. Now, for this option here, settings is like the back part of your project. Here you can set the name for your project, set the description, set a favicon, you can add or remove fonts, you can install applications, plugins, and many more. And for the last part here, we have this publish button, which is used to publish your project. Now, when we covered all of this up, let's talk about this sidebar on the left. First panel here is the pages panel. Here is the list of all of the pages I have created on this project. Now, the next panel is components. Here I have the list of all the available components I have created on this project. And the last one is the layers. Here I can see the whole structure of my web page. And let's talk more about the layers. Here you have these small arrows, and if you click them, you will close this block here. And this is pretty useful when you want to navigate through your layers, so you can you can organize your layers a bit more. So here you can do a lot of bunch of stuff, like let's hit the right click on this here and let's rename this div here. Let's name it left block, for example, and this div here is renamed. It's important to note that these names here won't affect your tags at all. They won't affect any stylings, your classes. Even the other users cannot see those names. You're the only one who can see these names, and their only purpose is for you to easily navigate through your layers. Now let's talk about these small labels here that we have. Firstly, let's talk about this green C letter. If I hover it, it will tell me that this is a component called Navbar. If I go here and hover over this A2, this means that I have two attributes set to this div. And also, I can see the list of all attributes that I have on this div. Here, when I hover it on this C1, it will show me that this tag contains one class. If I go here to this blue X14, this means that my tag is repeated or looped 14 times. And that's pretty much it for the layers. So we can go back, so we can go to the right side now and talk about this sidebar. Here we have as well three panels. We have designer panel, which you are going to use to set styles to your tags. We have this settings panel, which let's select this heading 1 here. Here you can set some options like IDs, visibilities, transform options, or you have some specific settings depending on which tag you've selected. For example, for headings, you have these options. If I select links, I'll have the linking options. Here you can change the content of your text tags, or you can simply double click on them and you can here as well change their content. Now further, let's go to this advanced panel. Here you can set the source if you want some items to pull data from collections. In my case, I can set this to be connected to blog collection. Here you have iterables. Again, if you're working with collections, iterables will come very handy for you. I won't go into details about iterables since this is the topic for itself. It's pretty long, so we'll have a separate video for this. Here you can set the custom attributes or set the visibility conditions. Now let's talk about the first thing you're going to notice when you come into the Divhunt builder. Well, that is the canvas. And in my opinion, for me as a developer, it's much more easier to work in a canvas mode or rather than in a mode like Webflow have, where you have one page fixed in your screen. So in a canvas, you can freely move like this. This a lot resembles Figma, so you can hold control on your keyboard, and with my scroll I can zoom in or zoom out in my project. And one very amazing thing is, let's go here to the pages panel, and if I hold shift and left click on some of my pages, you will notice that my pages are getting pinned into my canvas, and now I can freely move between multiple pages at once. This is very useful if you want to, let's say, copy some section from this page to a home page. So I can just come here, hit Ctrl+C on my keyboard, then I just need to scroll here and paste everything into this page. So I just need to hit Ctrl V. If I scroll down, it will be placed here. I can just drag it where I like it, and as you can see, we have copied this section from other page to home page in just a few seconds. Now let's talk about classes. If you're a newcomer from Webflow, this might be a bit frustrating for you. That's because we don't have combo class system. Rather than that, every single class here works independently. To demonstrate you that, here on this heading 1, I have set this margin top 10 class. If I'm going to add another class, like let's go with BG blue here, and if I set some stylings here, let's set background to be blue, and let's remove the first class. As you can see, the stylings of my second class stays. That's because these two classes works separately. Now, the idea behind classes on Divhunt is that you can reuse almost every class that you create here. And the second part is that your tags will be better organized. As you can see, I have this BG blue class here, which represents background color of blue here. And if I add a class like margin top 10, this class represents the margin top of 10 pixels. I will, on this project, I will reuse this class very often, so rather than setting those styles on a tag, I set them on a class so I can use them at any time. Now let's talk about second styling method here, and that is styling tag directly. Here you can select any tag you want, and as you can see, my tag option here is selected. I can input anything I want here, and those styles will be applied only to this tag here. This way I know that I won't mess my styles on some other pages like I would if I were to use same classes here and on other pages, and I may forgot that I have same class and multiple places, so my styles will be completely messed up. And the second great thing here is, let's go to the responsive here so I can demonstrate you that. Let's go to some smaller breakpoint, and now if I'm going to if I want to change the top spacing, for example, I want here instead of 10 to be 50, I can freely input this value here, and this value will only be applied on this tag on this breakpoint. I won't mess my styles anywhere else. So with this covered, let's go to the full breakpoint, and let's talk about all of these different colors here. Firstly, we have this purple color. When something is marked purple, that means that those styles are coming from classes. When something is marked in a pink color, that means that those styles comes from global styles. For example, if I go here and select this global H1, everything I edit here will be set globally to every single H1 on my project, and those changes will be marked as a pink color. Now let's go back, and with the blue color, those are the styles that you've directly set on your tag. For this orange color, that means that this tag is inheriting those styles from its parent. If I go here and hit right click again, it will tell me that this style here comes from body tag and the breakpoint is 1920 pixels. Now let me talk about one very interesting thing here, and that is the instances. Let me show you how you can create some animations without needing some systems like Webflow have the interaction system, which will create JavaScript codes, and that sometimes can be very hard for your project, especially if you have multiple pages with multiple interactions. Now, if I want here to, let's say I want when this whole div is hovered, I want this arrow here to be rotated. Here we can do that with simple CSS. For example, I just need here to click on this instance button, and this instant pop-up will be opened. Here into the state, I need to set the state on which I want animation to be triggered. I want it to be hover here, and I need to select subject. Here you can select from some global tags like headings, images, or links or divs, but this time let's go back quickly and set here a class of hover target, so we can easily target our arrow. So I can go back again into the instance, set hover, and now I will have this hover target class as my subject. If I click on this, click create, And if you're more familiar with writing custom CSS, you can see this instance here. The self represents the div or the tag on which this instance is set. In my case, it's this div here. When this div is hovered, you will target this class. And now I can scroll here and I can set the transform option to be rotate, and let's set the value of 45 degrees. And now when I hover over this div here, you can see that my arrow is rotating. But let's make this animation smoother. Let's click on this arrow here, scroll down a bit, and let's set the transition here. Let's set the style to be ease. And now when I hover over this div, you will see that my arrow is rotating smoothly, and everything we achieved now is made through pure CSS, and it's not heavy for my project. Now let me show you another interesting feature on Divhunt, and that is the custom CSS. For example, let's again take this div here, and if I click on these two brackets here, this pop-up will be opened, and here I can see all of the CSS styles set on this tag. And the good part is these are not read-only. You can also come here, type some new properties, let's say margin bottom of 100 pixels. If I hit save, these styles will automatically be applied into the builder, and I can as well see them here, so I can even further edit them here, or I can remove them. Now, if I again open this CSS here, you can see that we also have this instance that we created before visible here, so we can delete it, we can as well edit it here, or we can write some new instances here. And now to show you my favorite thing about this custom CSS is that I can now go into the Figma file, copy some code here, and let's select this whole section here. I can just click on this custom CSS, paste the code that I copied from Figma, and as you can see, I've set this background radial gradient in just a few clicks. I, as a developer, personally hate to work with gradients and with backdrop shadows, and this is a lot of time and energy saving for me. So I often use this feature. So let's go and remove this because we don't want it here. And that is the power of custom CSS on Divhunt. The next on our list are the plugins. The plugins are a feature that helps you achieve some very powerful effects in your project that are made through JavaScript, and you don't need to know or write any custom code. So to demonstrate you this, I'll go to the settings of my project, into the Browse Plugins panel. I can see the list of all currently available plugins. Here you can choose anything you like. From this list, and for this example, I'm going to choose this Count Up plugin, and to install it, I simply need to click on this button here, then hit confirm, wait a few seconds, and my plugin is ready for use. Now let's go back here and let's see how can we attach this plugin to some of my tags. Firstly, I'm going to duplicate this heading here, and let's change this content here into a number. Let's type in 6 million here. And to apply a plugin, you just need to go here to the transform dropdown, open it, and select the plugin you need. For this example, as I said, we are going to use CountUp, and as you can see, the plugin automatically started working. Now you also have additional options for every single plugin, so if you come here, click on it, you will have these additional options. Here I can adjust the duration for my animation. If I click save, you will see that my animation is now going way slower than before, and you can also add a bunch of other stuff like set the prefix, let's add a $sign here, and for the separator, let's add a dot. And now you can see that my plugin is edited. And one very interesting thing about the plugins is that the community can make their own plugins and publish them for other people's to use. How can you do that? Well, you can go here into the creator application, hit create plugin button, and here you can make your own custom plugin and publish it onto the community. And now when we cover up the plugins, let's talk more about the custom code. Let's talk about the files here. If you open this field again, you will have the list of your files, and here you can create new folders or CSS and JavaScript files. For this example, let's create one JavaScript file. Let's name it hello world. And here it's successfully created. If I open it here, I can type in any custom JavaScript that I want, and it will work in my project. Now, you have a bunch of options here that we are going to cover into details in some different video. So when you are done writing your code here, you can just hit save. You can close this, and the code that you write in that file will be saved here. Now, when we cover this up, let's talk about the components. The components are very powerful feature on Divhunt, so you can use them when you want to reuse some sections like navbars, footers, and similar. So let me show you really quickly how can you add a component to your page. Simply, let's select our body tag and let's add this component tag here. As you can see, it's placed right at the bottom of my page, and here, while I'm in the settings panel, I just need to open this drop down, and this is the list of all of my components. As you can see, as I'm hovering them at the center of my screen, you can see the preview of my components. So here, let's say this component here. And here I can directly click on something and edit the text. I'll type something like test for my video. And if I click outside, this text will be changed only on this component. It won't affect any others. And that's because, let's select this component. This component here is set to be instance or to work independently for the content, for texts and images from other components. So if I want this component to be exactly the same as my main component, I'll just need to go here and turn off the instance option. And as you can see, my text is again back to normal. That's because this component now works as my main component. And another interesting feature here is this lock option. When you feel that you are finished with this component here and you don't want to come back here and edit it furthermore, you can just hit this lock option and this component will be completely locked. So you cannot, let's say, delete something accidentally or something similar to that. The next thing I want to talk about is the collection system, or the CMS of Divhunt. It's pretty much similar to the one on Webflow. The only big difference is that here you can have better organization for your collections. To show you that, I will open my collections application, and here into this blog collection I'm going to create new item. Let's name it for the video. If I hit confirm, my item will automatically be created. And the first thing you can see here are these three separate sections. The first one is created by default, you have it in every single collection. Here you have the name and the slug of your collection, and the second and third one are created customly by me for me to easily navigate through data which I need to input here. You also have this tab system, which you also can create customly made tabs. You can create multiple tabs, which are for the sake for you to easily navigate through your collections and to easily manage your data. On the right side, you have some basic informations about your item here. You also have some predefined fields for the SEO settings here. And if you want to publish your item, you just need to toggle this button here, click on finish editing, and you've successfully created and published a new item into the collection. Now let's see how can you make some new fields into your existing collection. For that, I just need to click on this icon here, and as you can see, we have these two sections that are created. Here I can click on this add new section, and let's name it video. If I hit confirm, new section is created. Let's add new field, let's add text field, let's name it video name. And here we have this width field. I'm going to set it to the 50% and hit save. And now you can see that this field here is 50% width of this whole section. Now let's again create new field here. Let's create media. Let's name it video file. If I hit confirm, I can again set its width of 50%. And you can see that these two fields are aligned one beside other. And if I hit finish editing button and enter into my item here, you can see that we have new section, and also we have two new fields which are placed one beside other. Just that's because we set those width properties to be 50%, and that won't interrupt your data or your items in any way. That system is created purely for easier organization through collections. Now let's click here on finish editing, and let's say how can you connect the tags to pull data from the collections. Well, this pretty much works similar to the Webflow system. Instead of that, here you're going to use this advanced panel, and you're going to use these fields here. But because this is a separate topic and it needs a lot of explanation, we have a separate video specifically for the collection system on our YouTube channel. Now let's transition and say a few words about live preview. The live preview, in my opinion as a developer, is a very useful feature here. If I go here at the top of my homepage and click on this URL, my page will automatically be opened in my browser. In my case, it's Google Chrome, and here every changes I made into the builder, as you can see, here is that plugin that we created on that tag. Everything will be shown here. And if I go back to the builder and make some changes here, let's name it, let's change this text here to say Damien Brown test. And if I again open it in live preview, you can see that this text here is changed without needing me to publish whole project over and over. And this change here is only visible to the admins. Your users won't see these changes until you publish your website. And this is pretty good if you want to test some new stuff like plugins or animations like this, and you don't want to keep publishing your website until you perfect something that you're making. So this here is personally one of my favorites things on Divhunt, and I use it pretty commonly. Now this also here is working with the styles, so let's set really quickly, let's set the class that we already created. Let's set BG red here, and if I again go into the live preview, you can see that this also works for the styles. And now the last thing that I'm going to mention in this video is the SPA, or the single page application. And again, to compare Divhunt with Webflow, Webflow projects are made with the multi-page application system, which for example makes this project into multiple pages, and if I click here on portfolio, my whole project will refresh, and from the beginning it will start loading this new page, and that will take up some time. Specifically if you have some more pages, animations and similar, it will take a lot more times. Beside that, Divhunt is made into a single page application when every single page is made into one application, so you can see that as soon as I click on a link here, the pages switch automatically because they're already preloaded and they're ready for me to use them. So this is one pretty interesting thing about Divhunt, because all of your project will be super fast. And with that, we came to the end of this video. Don't forget to check out our YouTube channel, where you can find more detailed videos about features and functionalities that Divhunt offers. Until the next time, happy building!